Okay, and today I have one of my favorite guests. I consider her a friend now, a friend, and you're in Canada, right? Urmi? Are
Yes,
you in
I'm in
Canada?
Montreal.
Yes,
Yes.
one of my friends in Canada that's my Zoom friends. And it's so much fun when I have her on. And it's Urmi Hossain. She is a culture expert. She's lived in Italy. She's also an author and is just very, very interesting. And she's going to join with me today to talk about being in Italy for the holidays, the food, the special events, the special holidays. And I just wanted to show everyone real quick my book, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Holidays, Special Occasions. So this book has become a tradition now because I have stories about the holiday time and menus and recipes in Italy. So it's kind of become a tradition in many households. But anyway, Urme, thank you so much for being here
Thank you
today.
for having me. I'm so
Yes,
excited.
yes. So you've lived in Italy. So I know you were going to talk about, some of the foods that are your favorite foods for the holidays there. And since we can't all be there for the holiday, we can at least take a trip in our mind, with this episode. We can do like a little staycation. So
Yes.
tell us about some of your favorite foods there, what you remember during the holidays.
So during the holidays, usually like what you will see like in everyone's house or even at the supermarket are panettone and pandoro. So panettone is from Milano and pandoro is from Verona, and these are like I want to say like dry cakes. Panettone is garnished with raisins or dry fruits and basically like these are typical um, food that you will see in everyone's house. And then during the holiday season we also have another special item which is called the torrone, and it's a rectangular chocolate which is garnished with hazelnuts, and you have like different types of it. And so these are the three things that are very, very typical that you see during the holiday season. And of course, if you go to people's house, like let's say on Christmas or let's say on New Year's, you will see other things like you will see different kinds of cheese. You will see like pasta, lasagna, a lot of vegetables, because sometimes, like I think during Christmas, people are not allowed to eat meat, but they eat mainly like fish or vegetables. So those are typical things that you see. And of course, during the holidays, we also have like all the streets decorated. We have big Christmas trees in like different parts of the city, and like they create that Christmas vibe, and you just feel like you're just so happy when you're walking just like on the street. And of course we have the Christmas market. So in those markets you have like homemade food, homemade cookies. You can have like a warm meal, a warm drink. You can also have like wine as well. So there are like a bunch of things that you can have, and these are like part of the Italian culture because it's all about like spending time with family and friends. So it's very like normal to see these kind of things during Christmas.
Yes. And do you remember like any towns that you saw the Christmas markets in? Did you go to the one in Rome or any of the other ones in some of the other cities? I know Bolzano, which is in the north, has a big Christmas market.
So I lived in Milan,
Oh,
and
okay. In the
yeah,
north.
so we did have like a big Christmas tree
Uh-huh.
in the actual like center of the city. We
Yes.
also did have like little market as well, but I lived like outside of Milan, and we would have like little markets, and you would have people like it's in an open area, and you would have people
Yes.
selling things. Yeah.
Yes, yes. One of my favorite things is the all of the churches have these beautiful manger scenes inside. I don't know if this is something you remember or even experienced, but if they have a manger scene, like a nativity scene rather, inside the church, they have usually they'll put a shooting star on top of the church. And you can, even if it's not your religion, people go in because some of them are just so beautiful. Some of them are handmade, and there's just so much of that. I know they did that in Rome. I'm not sure about Milan because I've always been in Rome at Christmas time. But you're right, there's so many different things to enjoy. And I know you had told me before we started the different holidays you were going to talk about. There's
Yeah,
a few
so
different
so
ones.
these are some of the things that I had like a culture shock with when I moved to Canada because, for instance, the 8th of December, it's a holiday in Italy, and that's when I would say it marks the beginning of the celebration. It's called the l'Immacolata, and that's
Yes,
when people start like putting up the trees, wrapping up the gifts and stuff like that. And then it follows to the 24th, which of course it's a holiday everywhere, the 25th and the 26th. So the 26th, it's a Boxing Day here in Canada, and I'm assuming in the States too. But in
yes.
Italy, it's not Boxing Day; it's an actual holiday, which is it's called the
Santo Stefano.
Santo Stefano,
Yes,
exactly. And people are still celebrating, people are still eating together. And then you have, of course, the 31st, you have the 1st, and then you have the 6th. So for us, nothing opens, at least in Italy, nothing opens until the 6th. Like everything is closed until the 6th, and the 6th, it's the Epiphany, La Befana. And so people, like, you have this witch coming, like going to like different houses. She's supposed to be a good witch, and she's giving like chocolate to the people, to the kids that have been good all year long. Otherwise, she's gonna give you like a piece of coal. And this was something that I haven't seen in Canada, for instance. Like, it's not a holiday. So for me, it was a shock because we just have so many holidays starting from the 8th until the 6th. So that's pretty much a month of, I mean, it's everything is not closed for a month, but you do have a good 2 weeks of holidays there. So because there's so much importance on, around Christmas and going, and people go to church, people go to a lot of bakery places, and they celebrate like the 31st, the 1st of January. Then you have, of course, from the 24th to the 26th of December, it's a holiday, and people are just gathering together and eating, and they have the big il cenone, il pranzo di Natale, that's how we call it.
yes. Pranzo Natale is the big Christmas meal. Yes.
Yes,
And you're right, for Christmas Eve, which is called La Vigilia. Do you remember that? La Vigilia.
la vigilia,
So yeah, that's when you don't eat meat. That's when we do
right.
this, they call the Feast of the Seven Fishes in America. It's all seafood. You have pasta and risotto and things like that, but you don't eat meat. However, on Christmas, it's usually a big lasagna with meat. And if people eat meat, you don't have to, but if they do eat meat, they can eat meat on Christmas Day. But you're right. One of the things I miss about being in Italy for the holidays is that it feels like it's almost like a month of just constant holidays and eating. And the 6th used to be, you're right, things used to be closed for the 6th, but now it's kind of changed. It's a holiday, but it's kind of like Halloween in the United States. I don't,
Okay.
it's like there and people celebrate it, but things aren't closed. Many things are open now, but it's still a holiday, definitely. And they still do lots of special things for the good Christmas witch, La Befana. So, and people didn't used to do things for Santa Claus, but now many people will do Santa Claus and then La Befana on the 6th also. So it's just really a fun time. And like I said, it just feels like it's nonstop holidays for almost 6 weeks, really. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a great time to be in Italy also. So but anyway, so is there anything else that sticks out in your mind about the Christmas holidays or the holiday time?
No, I do think it's a great time to be in Italy during Christmas. I know
Uh-huh.
people like to be in Italy during the summer, which of course has its own beauty, but I think
Yes.
like celebrating Christmas in Italy has a different kind of experience, which I don't think you get it in other places. Like I can feel like I do feel homesick, especially especially now that I'm in Canada. I feel like I don't get the same type of experience because in Italy, let's say you go to a bakery shop and people are so warm and welcoming during Christmas. They're telling you, okay, what kind of pastry do you want? What kind of bread do you want? And everyone is like so loving, and it's a different kind of like connection. So you do feel like, okay, this is a good place to be during Christmas. It creates that nice vibe, and I think it's a great moment. Like it's a good time to be in Italy, and it's Italy is never cold as in other countries. So even if like you're someone who doesn't like cold, you're not gonna suffer from the cold. And I think it's really nice to like go and visit the Christmas market, because I do think that other countries, they actually stole the idea from Italy when it comes to this,
The
because
Christmas market,
I
yes.
can see other people doing it, but I think like an open market where you're selling like, you know, things that are related to Christmas, or you can buy like gifts and stuff like that, you don't see it in other places. And to point out another thing as well is that, which I don't see in Canada, is that in Italy, during Christmas, people have a presepe, which is basically the representation of how Jesus was born. And this is something that you will see like in different parts of the city. Yeah.
That was the nativity scene. That's what I meant,
There you go.
presepe.
Yes,
I didn't say
yes,
the word,
yes,
but yes, the presepe are what they have in the churches. And
yes,
yes, actually, people up until maybe 30 years ago, people didn't really do a lot with Christmas trees. Mainly in Italy, it was just the presepe, which is the nativity scene. And
yes,
some people, I mean, home, like at home, you will find people that have it on their front lawn, like
yes,
handmade. Did you ever
yeah.
see that? Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful nativity scenes. And that's why I mentioned in some of the churches where if you see a shooting star on the outside, that means they have a presepe inside, and you just never know what kind of presepe you're going to find. But at Piazza di Spagna, which is the
Uh-huh.
Spanish Steps, they usually have a really big presepe nativity scene. I'm not
Yes.
sure if they're still doing that, but they usually do. That's usually beautiful too. But you're absolutely right. But I did want to mention, so you're working on, or you did, I think, already do a course in Italian that we can tell people about that want to learn more, want to learn some Italian before they go over to Italy, or just experience?
Yeah, so I did create a course. It's a very simple course where basically like I talk about different expression that you can use, especially if you're going like on a holiday. So things like, okay, how can I order, let's say, coffee in Italian, or how can I order croissant in Italian? You know, like if you're going out for breakfast and you don't want to starve. So I did create like a little course, and I do talk about like different expressions, like how do you say, you know, how do you say hi, hello in Italian? Because there are different ways to do it, or how do you like order food in Italian? So I
Yes.
did create a course, and of course, I'm planning to create more, and it's a course in Italian, of course, for anyone who wants to learn Italian, and there will be more to come for sure. And it's
Great.
available and teachable.
Great. Yes, that's what I wanted people to know. It's on Teachable. So, if you're going to Italy, or if your family's Italian, or if you have some Italian descent, you want to impress people during your family meals for the holiday, you might want to just take the course for fun as well. And I did want to mention, so we are going to be having we're offering subscriptions to the Maria Liberati Show, and we're going to be offering meetups to the subscribers. So we're going to have Urmi back probably in the new year when we do our subscriptions, and you'll be able to be part of the podcast and ask questions, and maybe you can ask her about some of these expressions or different things. So it will be a lot of fun. So she will be back in the new year, definitely. And I don't think I mentioned in this episode, but we did in the other episode you were in, that you lived in Italy for how long?
When I say 20 years.
Okay, yes. So she lived in Italy for 20 years. She's a culture expert, but she did live in Italy for 20 years. So that's why, she's so knowledgeable on that too. She was really immersed in the culture. And tell us your book. I know it's not a newly released book, but tell everybody about your book also in case people want to look for that.
Yes, I did self-published a book not too long ago. I would say it was in July.
Yes.
And it's basically like reflections or confessions about me growing up in Italy and how I felt being a Bengali Italian. And my book is called Discovering Your Identity, A Rebirth from Interracial Struggle. And my book is available on Amazon, and anyone can purchase it from anywhere from the world, basically. Like from any parts of the world, you can purchase it. Yeah.
great. And we'll try and put a link on the website for the MariaLiberatiShow.com. Well, Urmi, thank you so much for being here and sharing all of that and giving us a little piece of Italy for the holidays.
Thank you.
And Buon Natale to you and your family.
Thank you.
And we will definitely be seeing you in the new year because we're going to do a fun meetup and invite everybody into the podcast.
Sounds good. Thank you. And Buon
Great.
Natale to you
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.